Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Thank you all for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today we will be hearing the divine lotus words from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is chapter 16 of the first canto, verse 2, which is how Maharaj Parikshit received the age of Kali. Yesterday, we began this chapter by explaining about the exalted status of Parikshit Maharaj, what a great king, what a great devotee, what an exalted ruler, and how the people prospered under his rule, and how brave he was to uphold dharmic principles. And today, we are going to hear Srila Prabhupada on verse 2. So thank you all for coming. My humble obeisances. Stay tuned. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Sa Uttarasya Tanayam Upayema Iravatim Janamejaya Adim Chaturas Tasyam Upadayat Sutam Sa Uttarasya Tanayam Upayema Iravatim Janame Jayadim Chaturas Tasyam Utpadayat Sudan Sa Uttarasya Tanayam Upayema Iravatim Janame Jayadim Chaturas Tasyam Utpadayat Satam Sa Uttarasya Tanayam Upayema Iravatim Janame Jayadim Chaturas Tasyam Utpadayat Sutan
Sautarasya Tanayam
Sautarasya Tanayam Upayema Iravatim He Uttarasya of King Uttara Tanayam daughter Upayeme married Iravatim Iravati Janamejaya Adim headed by Maharaj Janamejaya Chaturaha four in number Tasyam her Utpadayat married Sudan sons. Translation
Utpadayat married
to be produced.
Begotten. It should be begotten. That's correct.
King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttara and begot four sons headed by Maharaj Janamejaya.
Uttarasya Tanayam. The Maharaj Parikshit, his mother's name was Uttara. Uttara means King Virata. He had two issues, one son, one daughter. The son's name was Uttara and the daughter's name was Uttara. This Uttara was taught dancing by Arjuna. When Arjuna was staying at Maharaj Virata's house as an ordinary dancing master, they did not know that he is Arjuna, because the promise was for 1 year they should remain incognito. If they are detected, then again for 12 years they will be banished. So Arjuna, him and others, they took different types of services in the house, palace of Maharaj Uttara, Maharaj Virat. So he was appointed as a dancing master, teacher to the daughter Uttara. Just see, Arjuna was a great warrior and he was expert dancing master also. So, when it was disclosed that these servants, they are the Pandavas, they remained here as ordinary servants. So Maharaj Virat was very much pleased that such exalted persons are living in my house incognito. So he offered Uttara to Arjuna that you marry my daughter. You have taught her dancing. So Arjuna said, how can I marry her? I am teacher and she is my disciple. She is my daughter. How can I marry her? Then Arjuna said that if you want to keep this daughter in our family, I have got a grown-up son, 16 years old. That means Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra. The Subhadra, Krishna, Balaram, Subhadra. So Subhadra was married to Arjuna and the son was Abhimanyu. So Uttara was married to Abhimanyu. And the son was Maharaj Parikshit. Abhimanyu was just married and the war was declared. So when Abhimanyu had to go to fight, so he went to fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra on behalf of his father, but he never returned. He died there. So Uttara was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit was within the home. But the opposite party, they killed. And the last killing was 5 sons of Pandavas. They were sleeping and Aswathama, just to satisfy Duryodhana, he killed these sons while they were sleeping, most abominable, and brought the heads to Duryodhana. Now I have finished the Kuruman. So Duryodhana could understand that they are not the heads of the Pandavas, but their sons. So out of disappointment that our whole family is now finished. He died. So only Maharaj Parikshit was in the womb of his mother. That was also attempted to be killed by Brahmastra. Brahmastra is almost similar to the atomic weapon. And Brahmastra, the specific function of Brahmastra is that when this weapon is released, it will kill the particular man wherever he is. It will go there and kill him. It doesn't matter whether he is in front or in somewhere. The weapon is so powerful that simply by mantra you release it and it will kill your enemy, wherever he is. So one Brahmastra was released to kill this child, baby within the womb, embryo, to kill. And at that time, Uttara felt that her pregnancy is going to be what is called discharge. So immediately she approached Krishna, I am feeling like that, miscarrying. Please save me. So at that time, Krishna entered the womb of Uttara and saved the child from the Brahmastra. So Maharaj Parikshit is such a devotee that he was protected from the embryo by Krishna. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami had this Mahapaurishika. You are a great personality. So this Maharaj Parikshit was again cursed by a Brahmin. He could retaliate that, but he did not do so, just to offer respect to the Brahmin. He considered himself offender. That is the last stage, and because he was cursed by a Brahmin at the last stage of his life, 7 days he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, we have got this book. This is the whole story. So here, Maharaj Parikshit, son of Uttara, but he married his maternal uncle's daughter. That was permissible. Still it is permissible. This kind of marriage is considered very aristocratic, to marry the daughter of maternal uncle. So Arjuna also married the daughter of maternal uncle. Kunti is the sister of Vasudeva, Krishna's father. And Subhadra is the daughter of Vasudeva. So he also married. Except in southern India, this process is now no longer existing. In Bengal and other provinces of India, they do not marry the first cousin. So that is the marriage system. But in southern India, still to marry the daughter of maternal uncle is considered as very aristocratic. So this system was current 5,000
Hare Krishna. It looks like Mata just become disconnected.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
It could be because she has lost electricity sometimes, and it
Yes.
will come back again.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just wait.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, we wait. Yes.
Married his uncle's daughter, Uttarasya Tanaya. Tanaya means daughter. Uttarasya Tanaya Upajima. And her name was Iravati. Iravati. So, in the womb of Iravati, Maharaj Parikshit begotten 4 sons. The first one's name is Janmenjaya. Adi. Adi means beginning with. He begotten 4 sons, beginning with Janmenjaya. The history of Janmenjaya is also very nice. You can read the Janmenjaya paragraph.
Jaya. One of the Rajarshi kings and the famous son of Maharaj Parikshit. His mother's name is Iravati, or according to some, Madravati. Maharaj Janamejaya begot 2 sons of the names Gyatanika and Sankukarna. He celebrated several sacrifices in the Kurukshetra pilgrimage, and he had 3 younger brothers named Shrutasena, Ugrasena, and Bhimasena II. He invaded Taxila, or Ajanta, and he decided to avenge the unlawful curse upon his great father, Maharaj Parikshit.
Yes. Maharaj Parikshit was cursed by a Brahmin boy, not even 12 years old. When he heard that his father was insulted, one Muni, he was in meditation, and Maharaj Parikshit was in the forest hunting. So he was very much thirsty. So in those days in the forest there were many hermitages, saintly persons, sages used to live. So he entered one of them and asked for water. But the Muni was great meditation. He could not hear him, he received the king. So he felt insulted that I asked water, this man is silent. So there was a dead snake. So out of anger, he took the dead snake's hand round, wrapped him and went out. So this news was spread, and his son was playing. And as soon as he heard that my father has been insulted in this way, he became very angry and cursed him immediately that this snake or a snake would bite this king and he'll die out of snake bite. So, and then again he came to his father. He was crying. The father, at that time, the meditation of the father was broken. And why, my son, you are crying? And you have been insulted by Maharaj Parikshit. I have cursed him like this. Oh, he becomes, oh, what you have done wrong thing. You have cursed Maharaj Parikshit. Oh, the greatest blame will be on the Brahman society. The Kali Yuga will begins deterioration of the Brahmin community. You are the first. The one thing is that even a child born of a Brahmin was so powerful that because he cursed Maharaj Parikshit to die out of snake bite, it could not be withdrawn. He died. Just see how much Brahminical power was that time. Even a child, what to speak of, grown up. So in those days, as in the first verse we learned, Dijavarsa Shikshaya. Actually, the Brahmins, they were controlling the state, but not directly, not sitting on the throne, but giving the kings good advice according to Shastra, that you rule over like this is the process, and the king should abide by it. Although the monarchy was there, but they were not irresponsible. First of all, the king was trained and educated perfectly. Therefore it is called Dijavarja Shikshaya. Yesterday I explained Dija, the twice born Brahmin, and again it is added with another word, Borja. Borja means the first class, not third class, first class man. Dijavarja Shikshaya. They used to teach. They used to advise. And if the king was worthless, sometimes they would kill the king, and next son, his son would take position. That was done in the case of Maharaj Bena. Maharaj Ben, he was upstart. He was born of a low-class mother, so he became so upstart that in his boyhood he was playing with friends, and if there was some quarrel, he would kill such friend. So his father became so disgusted, tried to reform him in so many ways, but he could not be reformed. The father, Maharaj Anga, he left the king all of a sudden, kingdom all of a sudden, being disgusted. Then the Brahmins asked the king that you are not ruling very nicely, you have stopped all religious function. This is not good for the people, neither for you. They first of all tried to pacify him by nice instruction. But the king said, you Brahmins, you do not know me very well. I am God and this and that. Then he was killed by the Brahmins. You know that Jamadagni, Parashurama, when he saw that the kings were not responsible, he killed the whole Kshatriya family for 21 times. So that was the government. If the Brahmins should see that the Kshatriyas, the kings, are not ruling properly according to the Vedic principle, sometimes they would kill the king. So the Maharaj Parikshit was also killed but not for his fault. There was, of course, little fault that he took his. That is Krishna's arrangement. He was to go, leave this world so that Bhagavat may be spoken and people will derive benefit out of it. Otherwise, Maharaj Parikshit could retaliate. He was so powerful, devotee. But he did not. So, go on, reading.
He performed a great sacrifice called Sarpa Yagya to
This
kill.
Sarpa Yagya, because his father, Maharaj Parikshit, died of a snake bite, so he performed a yagya that all the snakes within this universe must die now. That was his determination. So he was performing such yagya that all the snakes, they are coming and falling on the fire. So there was such powerful mantras that one could do that. These things are now forgotten. Nobody knows, nobody can believe. But it was possible by the Brahmins, by chanting the Vedic mantra, they could do anything they like. That was the Yagya performance. Go on.
To kill a race of serpents, including the Takshaka, which had bitten his father to death. On request from many influential demigods and sages, he had to change his decision to kill a race of snakes.
Yeah. Although he was determined to kill, he was requested by many demigods and persons just for one snake's fault. That was also destined. You cannot kill all the species of snake. Then it was stopped. Then?
But despite stopping the sacrifice, he satisfied everyone concerned in the sacrifice by rewarding them properly and stopping further procedure of the sacrifice. In the ceremony, Mahamuni Vyasadeva also was present, and he personally narrated the history of the battle of Kurukshetra before the king. Later on, by the order of Vyasadeva, his disciple Vaishampayana narrated before the king the subject matter of Mahabharata. He was much affected by his great father's untimely death and was very anxious to see him again, and he expressed his desire before the great sage Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva also fulfilled his desire. His father was present before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vyasadeva with great respect and pomp. Being fully satisfied, he made charities most munificently to the brahmanas present in the sacrifice.
You can read another verse.
Ajahara Ashvamedhan Dreen Gangayam Puri Dakshinan Sharadvatam Gurum Krutva Diva Yatra Akshigochara Ajahara.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My humble apologies for the interruption due to the power going off over here. I sincerely apologize for that. And also apologize for not telling you when this lecture was given. It was December 3, 1973 in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken, but let me check. Sorry, not December 3, December 30th, 1973. Los Angeles, lecture by Srila Prabhupada. So if you would like to make some comments or share your realizations on hearing this wonderful explanation by Srila Prabhupada about Maharaj Parikshit, feel free to do so. I'll briefly summarize what we have read so far very, very quickly. it talks about how Janamajaya was born. Who is Janamajaya? He's the son of a very exalted personality, Maharaj Parikshit, and he himself is a very exalted personality. Then Srila Prabhupada explains how was Janamajaya born. Janamajaya was born of Iravati, and she is the daughter of Uttara, the prince, whose sister Uttara was married to Abhimanyu, Parikshit's father. So, and then Srila Prabhupada goes on to explain that in those days, it was considered very aristocratic to marry your maternal uncle's daughter. So that was the custom in those days. So this was considered very exalted marriage. So he was married to her, and he himself had 4 sons, who Maharaj Parikshit, one of whom was Janamajaya. Janamajaya himself was married and had 2 sons, and Maharaj Parikshit had 3 more brothers who are also mentioned. So that was about the lineage of Janamajaya. And then he was very, very upset because his father Parikshit was to be killed by a snake bird, and he did get killed that way. But that was Krishna's arrangement, so that Maharaj Parikshit would come back to him quickly. But Janamajaya, feeling very much separation and feeling great anger at the injustice of how his father died, decided to kill all the snakes. So he organized a huge Agnihotra ceremony in which all these snakes were forcibly attracted by the power of mantras, and they just fell into the fire and died. And like this, he was going to kill all the snakes just because of this one Takshaka snake bird which killed his father. And then he was stopped by the sages, by the demigods, and he agreed to stop that sacrifice and distribute charity. And Prabhupada mentioned, just see how powerful the Brahmins were. Just by the power of mantras, they could do this. And they could even kill people. That means when the king was misbehaving, as King Vena was misbehaving, by the power of mantras, they could kill him. And they did that because Vena was causing extreme disturbance in society by his cruel, inhuman, vindictive, and demoniac rule, actually. And then his son was Prithu Maharaj, a very saintly son. And so he took over the kingdom. So Brahmanas were so powerful in those days. That's what Prabhupada mentions. And then the next verse begins, which we did not go into. So that's just a brief recap. If you have any questions, comments, realizations, please feel free to raise your hand or let me know, and we can field those questions. Hare Krishna, Shilpesh Prabhu, go ahead.
Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the
Keep it mind. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I got to ask the question. If these royal families were marrying their cousins, does it not eventually lead to like defects, like birth defects within the lineage eventually?
Yeah, so eventually this practice faded out because intermarrying within the family, it actually leads to a lot of birth defects, genetic malformations, and all interbreeding, as they say. It is not very good for the children born of such a union. And so we find that this is no longer the practice. But in those days, it was allowed.
If they knew it would result in this, why did they allow it? I'm just curious. I'm sure the Brahmins would have known.
Those days, they were extremely powerful. They were not weaklings like how we are today. We are not so powerful, nor do we have great lineage, nor do we have pious credits. They had very powerful charts because they were very powerful people, extremely pious, extremely devoted to the Supreme Lord. And so their union did not result in a defective child. But we are not, Kali deteriorates the qualities of living beings. So we are no longer powerful, or nor do we have so much pious credits, nor do we have long life or good health. or good intelligence or good physical prowess or anything of the sort. We are quite weak compared to the people even 100, 150 years ago. They were very great philosophers, statesmen, poets, painters, sculptors, artists, musicians. Where do we have any of that now? It's all descended to the level of animal. So deterioration has occurred, you know. It's no longer the same.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Nice question. Anyone else would like to share or ask a question?
If nobody else is asking, can I go back to yesterday's topic about prashadam?
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to clarify, you know, you mentioned like when sugar is made, that's not considered cooking, even though it's heated on a flame. Can you explain why that is?
Because it is not a food product that we eat like rice or wheat or or dal. It's not a staple food. It's an additive. It just adds taste to, you know, a particular thing. It's like salt. You won't call salt a food, right?
Yeah.
It's an additive that brings out the taste of something. So sugar is not like you can't eat one sack full of sugar and say I had my meal. I mean, you could, but you'll be very sick at the end of it. Food is a staple grain like rice, wheat, dal, millets, you know, that is considered cooked food. This is a procedure to crystallize the sugar from the sugarcane juice. So, yes, it is cooked down molasses. It is cooked down and then it is crystallized into sugar. But that's a procedure. You wouldn't call it cooking a food to make it into a meal. It is just a procedure that is followed by the use of fire in order to make it into a crystalline form for consumption.
Thank you. I'm glad I asked. Just something on my mind I needed to ask.
That's all right. It's always good to clarify. Yes, Scarlett Mataji, go ahead. Thank you, Silpesh.
And thank you for today. What I have understood of all what I have read and so on, and also I have heard in different lectures that when we say to be with the devotees, to have devotees contact, to be in the temple, to eat food from the temple, prasadam from the devotee who have done it, and so on and so on and so on. And I always have asked this question, but still, I'm still stuck in, no matter what I do, still the food are produced by non-devotee, it doesn't matter what. And in my understanding, their energy, even can their energy affect the food regardless if it's cooked or not. Doesn't matter if it's cooked or not. The food the people who produce the food, their energy is in the food, in the vegetable, in the fruit, in the everything, in the grain, in everything. It's not that everybody who produce the food are devotee. And of course, we have the farm in different countries that they do their produce, but they are not as big to have a place for everybody who maybe could think of living there. So, and produce are not so much to say you can take care of the whole country, right? So you have to buy from the store. And people in the store, Their energy is in the food. Whatever you do, they are not all are devotee, and they handle the food, regardless if it's cooked or not. Their energy is in the food. What to do then?
So that is why Srila Prabhupada said, what we produce on our farms is 100 times more valuable than what you get in the market. For this reason, Srila Prabhupada wanted farm communities, so that even if it's a vegetable, even if it's a fruit or a flower or a twig or a herb or a medicine or whatever it is grown by devotees, harvested by devotees, bottled by devotees, distributed by devotees, consumed by devotees for this reason. Yes, all the different consciousness with which produce is made, and imagine how devotees would produce, right? From planting the seed to growing the seed to collecting the produce, offering to Krishna, the whole process is filled with bhakti. While other people also sow seeds, they also grow trees, they also collect the produce, but it is done with the purpose of profit. It's commercial. So therefore, Prabhupada wanted farm communities so that we can get our own produce. But because we don't, we have to buy from outside and so on. But at the same time, of the two, because Mother Nature has produced that fruit, it is in the mode of goodness. It's the food in the mode of goodness because she has given birth to that fruit or that flower. On the other hand, grain, it is harvested. Yes, it is also produced by Mother Nature, but it is harvested and then it is cooked by non-devotees. Their consciousness goes into that grain especially because it is cooked by them. And therefore, we avoid grains specifically. We cannot completely avoid all food because what will we eat? So sometimes we have to take fruits, vegetables, and things like that from outside. But
sorry, I'm so sorry. Grain are they cooked when we buy it?
No, of course not. You just buy the
No.
rice, you buy the dal, and you cook it at home.
Okay.
You
But
cook it.
still,
That's why we don't go to a restaurant, we don't go to outside eateries, we don't go to outside bakeries because we don't know what they put in it. They may use eggs, they may use objectionable material, they may use pig fat. Who knows what they put in it? So therefore, we avoid eating outside food and food cooked by non-devotees.
Another thing I need to ask, in some country, there is a rule and regulation to when you are going to start a farm. There is a rules there that you have to follow. If you don't follow, they are going to close you down. They are going to take it away from you. There are rules how to produce your food, how to sell your food, how to anything, everything, how to take care of your animal. Till even that is under their rule and regulation. In Sweden, for instance, if a farmer have a cow and the cow is sick, not feeling good, the government says it has to be utilized. If the veterinarian says it's not good, he's suffering, we have to utilize it, the owners can't say, no, I don't want, I want the cow die naturally. They can't do it. They're going to get found. You understand? So even to have a farm in some country, it's impossible because the government who's decided how you have to do it.
So that is why we need that. So what's the question?
I mean, what to do then? I mean, I can't come to India and start anything in India because I don't have that, how should I say, I don't have that permission. I don't have that visa that give me right to live there forever. So it will be so many problems. If I want to do it here and teach my children, can you buy a farm so that we can start it here? My children says, yes, but you know that the government going to interfere in how we do it. So
Okay.
what to do then?
What to do then?
Yes.
Yes, it's a good question. Maybe you should ask Guru Maharaj.
I mean, the food I buy now, I'm doing my best to do it myself, cook myself, and so on and so on. But still, I know that people that I go to the store I'm going to buy, there are people there, their energy could be in the food.
That is why
And
we offer it to Krishna. That is why we bring it, we wash everything nicely, we cook it with love and devotion, and then we put tulsi leaves on it, and then we offer it to Krishna. So that we, on our part, are trying to be as pure in the cooking of the food, and placing tulsi leaf on the food makes it extremely auspicious and a very nice offering for Krishna because he loves tulsi. Then he accepts the food, and then after he has the food, the remnants are prasadam, his mercy. And so we get purified by taking prasadam. That's why we do that procedure, offering with love and devotion to Krishna, so that we eat the remnants and the remnants purify us.
thank you.
Welcome. Hare Krishna. Balaji Prabhu, you've raised your hand. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Gauranga, and all the devotees there.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our Gurudev, all glories to the Vaishnavas.
So, on the same lines of Scarlet Mataji, I have one question, Mataji. So, Guru Maharaj was telling that, Krishna will accept food when any devotee is offered and we take that as prasadam. But most of the times, like me or anyone, right, who are not initiated, will that also be considered as devotees, or how we have to take that from that perspective, Mataji?
Yes, when we are chanting our 16 rounds, following the 4 regulatives principles, and we have taken shelter of Guru, and we are following the instructions of Guru Maharaj, then whatever we are doing, it may not be perfect, but because we are doing everything under the shelter of a spiritual master, then it becomes pleasing to Krishna, because at least we have taken that first step. So whatever you're offering with love and devotion to Krishna, nicely prepared with love and devotion, offered with tulsi leaves on it, even though you may not be initiated, because you're doing everything correctly in line with the Guru Parampara, then it is acceptable to Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Another question on the same lines. Sometimes, when we prepare food here, we offer sometimes with tulsi leaves and sometimes with tulsi powder, which we get. Is that acceptable, or we just have to offer only with tulsi leaves, Mataji?
I have not heard about tulsi powder. I know that if you don't have tulsi leaves, what you can do is keep a dried up twig of tulsi and gently touch each preparation with that tulsi twig and keep it. That means keep it safe. That means you can use it again and again to touch all the preparations with that tulsi twig. But I don't ever remember hearing about tulsi powder.
Yeah, a lot of people here are using tulsi powder, Mataji. So that's why, I just wanted to clarify that
I don't
question.
believe that we should use tulsi powder, because first and foremost, how is that powder produced? By crushing the dried leaves and then the powder is produced? I don't know what is the procedure by which that. See, tulsi is very dear to Lord Krishna. She has to be handled very, very carefully. So, how is that powder produced? That's the question.
Very, very nice point, Mataji.
Very important question. So it's best to ask Guru Maharaj this question, because I have never heard of tulsi powder being offered.
Definitely, Mataji.
So
Hare
yeah,
Krishna.
let's clarify with Guru Dev. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Lalit Mataji, please go ahead.
I have a question about the tulsi. I have a tulsi plant, and I I ask for forgiveness that I have to take a pallet of it and then put it on the plate with the fruit and so on, and to offer it. But then I have learned from some devotee told me that I should eat it, this tulsi, but not to chew it, just to swallow it. Is it right?
I have not heard that. I
What
have
to do
not,
with the what should I do with the pallet then?
not what should I do with the what?
With that pallet, with the tulsi pallet,
Tulsi
tulsi leaf,
salad?
tulsi leaf, tulsi leaf,
Tulsi
tulsi
leaf.
leaf. Yes.
I've not heard that you must not chew, because what if tulsi is a big, huge tulsi leaf and you cannot just swallow it?
It
So,
is.
yeah, so I have not heard any such thing that you cannot chew tulsi. That this is new to me.
Okay.
But yeah, the tulsi, there are two prayers that we say before plucking the tulsi leaf. Are you saying those prayers to Tulsi Devi before plucking the leaf and after plucking
Yes.
the leaf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I
Yes.
always say, "Oh, I'm sorry. When I take, I'm honest. It feels like I'm nipping her. So I say, "I'm sorry. Please, forgive me." Also, and then take, because I. No,
That's all
it
right.
feels
But you
that
have to say a particular mantra. Are you saying that mantra?
Yes,
Tulsi
I do that
Janma.
mantra, and then I do. But still, when I'm about to pluck the leaf, it feels like I'm nipping her. So I said, "Oh, please, forgive me," and then I take it.
Okay, which prayer are you saying before you pluck the
No,
Tulsi?
I don't want to say that. Please don't ask me, because this I
Well,
get.
you must say it.
Huh?
Because you must say the right, because you must say the right prayer.
It
You
is
must say
from
the
the
right
songbook.
mantra.
I got from my sister. Mentor sister, she told me to sing the book from the songbook that they sing it in Bhaktivedanta manner also.
Okay, as long as you got guidance for saying the prayer
Yes,
before.
I have a little. I can't take it, show you, but I have a very little songbook where there is Nrsimha song, all song that they sing in the temple. There is in this little book, so I read this.
Okay. Yes, that's fine. As long as you have that guidance and you're saying the prayer to Tulsi before plucking, and then again after plucking, you are supposed to say a particular prayer, then that's fine. As long as you're doing it under guidance, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
And
yes, Balaji Prabhu.
Sorry,
No, Mataji.
follow up. Follow up. On the plant, sometimes some of the leaves get dry, so I have to pluck it away, right? What should I do with these leaves that they are not really presentable to offer, but I have to do something with them? What to do with them?
There's nothing wrong. You can offer them. As long as they don't have black spots, they don't have tears, they are not diseased leaves. Even dried leaves can be offered. In fact, many people, all they can get hold of is dry leaves. So they offer the dried leaf on the preparations.
Okay. I thought
So you can offer them.
okay.
can
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Welcome. Balaji Prabhu?
No. I'm fine, Mataji. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Bread
Hare
Prabhu?
Krishna, Mother Shideva. Please accept
Hare
my humble
Krishna.
obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm at work right now, so I can't turn my video on. I'm very busy, but please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Gurudev. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine.
Mataji, just to
All
get back
glories to
to,
Srila Prabhupada. All
yes,
glories to Gurudev. Haribol.
just to get back to His Divine Graces class, when we were talking about the points when the Brahmanas, had this position where they sort of educated the king and guided them along their way. how can we as devotees today, we were talking yesterday in a class out of Harrisburg about the 10 offenses. And I got into a discussion with Mother Anasuya's husband Parikshit about, when we have our second initiated devotees in the temple, doing this, both equally having, services that are very, esteemed. One may be going on Harinam every day, one might be doing logistical stuff in the temple. But when we see that, one of those devotees has to instruct the other devotee to do something, and then, they get all pucka about it, and they say, okay, well, I can't be doing this menial service, and they give X, Y, and Z excuses, and they say, I'm doing this service is my main priority. I need to focus on this. I can't, derive it. Just reflecting, as Divine Grace said, we're not third class men, we're first class men. We're trying, the Brahmanas are trying to, guide the king. It's not that they would necessarily want to go and kill the king. They only kill the king when the king, becomes so miscreant that he can't be guided. So, us seeing our, our fellow devotees clash in these minor ways where they say, okay, this is below me, and something creeps in. How can we, should help kind of reaffirm that, service begins with the tongue, and even menial service, like we hear all the time, you scrub pots to really cleanse your heart, things like that. How can we not, as we grow in Krishna consciousness, and that's a question for myself, reflecting on myself, as a young devotee who's not initiated yet, and someone who works, in the material world in like a managerial role, how can we, lead collaboratively and compassionately, and understand that no matter what services we get ourselves into as the years progress, we can't become, this sort of pucka devotee and think certain, service is below me.
That is exactly the test of how much we are progressing, because remember, Krishna's service is absolute. There's no such thing as menial service. Every service is on the transcendental platform, whether it's sweeping the floor, washing the pots, giving a class, writing a book, going on Harinam, painting for Krishna. There's no such thing as these are the elite services only that I'm going to do, and the menial people the menial servers can do all the menial work. We definitely have propensities. Like, I may want to do a lot of hard physical labor, but I personally, my body just won't allow that. I'm just not inclined that way, nor do I have the capacity to do a lot of physical. If I do a lot of physically taxing work, and then for the next 6 hours, I cannot do anything. So every person should know their particular strengths, their weaknesses, and serve according to their best capacity. But in an emergency or in a difficult situation, if you're asked to do something, I think as devotees, we should be ready to do any service that we are asked. That's what it means to be a devotee. Do the needful, as Prabhupada said. So though I may not particularly be suited for a heavy duty cooking, let's say, cooking is not one of my strengths. So supposing somebody said, you have to join the cooking crew and you have to cook for 25,000 people, I would say, oh my God, that's going to be very difficult because I don't have so much strength. But if you don't have enough people, I'll try and do my best. So in an emergency situation, you just jump in and do what needs to be done, though you may not have the capacity or the talent or the skill or the necessary strength to do it. So maybe some of these devotees were already overwhelmed by what they were already doing. And then to take on one more service would have been like, oh my God, this is the last straw that will break the camel's back. And so, we have to take care of our minds and bodies also. So sometimes when you're very sincere, they will just pile on more and more because you don't say no. That happens. They will just give you more and more and more service until finally you say, yeah, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you don't want to say no, that is true, but you'll have to very gently and politely say, Prabhu, I really would love to help, but I have reached the end of the rope for today. I have only so much energy for the day, and this is all I can do. And now I really need to take rest because otherwise I'll fall sick if I don't. So, Krishna says in 6:17 of Bhagavad Gita, he who is regulated in eating, sleeping, work, and recreation has no material miseries and can perform the yoga system. So we are here for the long haul, you know. We can't be like, today I do 10 hours of service and next 3 days I'm flat on the bed. That's not very intelligent, no? Because sometimes it may happen that we may be pressed into emergency service and we have to do it. But in general, everybody has their services to do, and we try to do according to our capacity, according to the instructions of our Guru Dev. We try to do our service in the best possible way. But sometimes people may say, no, I just cannot do anymore. I'm overwhelmed. But to say out of a feeling of this service is beneath me and that service is above me, that's all like not exactly in line with our Krishna conscious principles or our philosophy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the points, Mataji. I mean, this devotee, one devotee I was reflecting on when I was talking to Prabhuji, did come from that point of, I'm just a little tired. So after some lighthearted conversation, discussing Srila Prabhupada pastimes, it came to the point where I was sharing with him, something a Mataji in my temple shared with me a few years ago about it was a point like you just brought up. We're not Krishna. We are, we want to be unlimited for him and serve all the time, and that is our mood, and nothing, no service is below us. But we are limited. We all have these individual bodies that all have their own capacity. So, we have to understand our limits and recharge, but not become lethargic, not burn ourselves out, like you said, to the point where we're in bed for 6 days straight. But
And
yeah,
also we
so
must
thank
guard against becoming, like servaholics also, There are people who rush around doing service after service after service after service, and then they just burn out or they're just wiped out, and for the next 7 days they cannot do anything. That's also the other extreme, We have to find that middle ground in which we can serve nicely for the long run. That means every day, steadily doing our service day after day after day after day. And that is actually doing in the mode of goodness. And it takes a lot of purification to reach that point where we are doing our service nicely every day without fail because we have reached Nishtha. That's a difficult stage and it takes a lot of purification to reach that point. Most of us are still in the modes of passion and ignorance, So we are up and down. We are very enthusiastic sometimes, and then after that, we are very blah. I can't do anything. I'm taking a break. I'm going off like that. But you can see the advanced devotees, how steady they are in their service, how they show up every day and keep doing it no matter what, because they have developed a taste. They have developed their relationship with Krishna, and that's how they're doing their seva nicely. Hope that helps.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the answer. She did be very inspiring. We must take that time to ourselves sometimes. Very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, speaking for my own self, I don't really have much physical capacity. I'm not very strong physically. And so therefore, Guru Maharaj has just given me, this service. The only thing I can do is talk. That's about the only strength I have, I think. So Guru Maharaj has instructed me, give class. And that's about all I can do, mostly speaking. I'm not very strong physically, so I'm not capable of much,
No, but capable of a lot, Sri Devi. I see it, and your glories are always talked about between other devotees. You're out here watering the seeds, so thank you. Very well.
Thank you. Thank you for tolerating me. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, if there are no further questions or comments or sharing of realizations. With your permission, shall we close this call? Okay, thank you all so very much. Have a wonderfully blessed day or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And please give me your blessings so that I can do better. I can do more to serve all of you nicely to your satisfaction. Hare Krishna. Jai
Thank
Srila
you.
Prabhupada.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And we can look forward to asking all the questions to Guru Maharaj that we didn't get clarity on. Feel free to ask Gurudev. Thank you. Hare